Hey, what's up guys? We're talking about Chelsea boots today, specifically reviewing this Chelsea boot from Acme Shoemaker. I'm going to cover a lot of details here. I'm going to get into what makes this Chelsea boot unique, how I came to purchase this Chelsea boot. I'll go over the specs, the details of the order, like the upper, the outsole, and then I'll get into the fit, the break-in, my overall thoughts, anything I would change, what I would want to do next time, or for any current orders that I have for a Chelsea boot. You've probably already noticed, but this is a hole cut Chelsea boot. That basically means this is a single piece of leather. It has one seam going down the back, and that makes this a very unique, or at least unique amongst the vast number of Chelsea boots that exist. I did a video about hole cut boots or hole cut shoes in general. I'll link that above and you can dive into that video if you're more interested on the hole cut topic. I ordered this Chelsea boot. It was actually like a ready to wear purchase through Acme. The reason is I had a bit of an issue with one of my prior orders, and Acme was so prompt and they resolved that issue, and it just really was to my satisfaction. Like, I couldn't be happier with how they handled that, and I wanted to show my support, and I told them I wanted to make another purchase right away. I didn't have a particular model or style in mind, so I asked them if they had anything already available in my size for purchase, and this was a display model or a sample they had built for their current trunk show at the time. This was about like 8 months ago, and as soon as I saw it, I jumped right on it. I knew it was something that I wanted to have, and I couldn't pass the opportunity up. Let's dive into the details. The upper, this is Horween Hatch Grain in espresso or dark brown hatch grain leather, which is calfskin embossed with the hatch grain texture. This is on the F75H almond toe round last, which the H just denotes that this is the boot version of the F75 last. It's a very similar fitting last to what I have on the single monk, which is just the F75, and I'll do a quick comparison in a few moments here. This is finished off, or this is built on a single leather sole with a very dark brown edge and bottom finishing. It has a round waist, kind of a round bottom waist, beveled edges, the standard notched heel transition with a full hand leather stacked heel. Let's talk about the fit. I mentioned this before, this is the second pair I have on this last. This is really one of my favorite lasts from them. It fits excellent. I'll do a comparison here. Overall, I just generally lean towards the round toe or a chiseled round toe versus more of a chisel square or classic round. I really love that happy medium between the two, and this really just fits that bill perfectly. One of the things that you definitely want to keep in mind, especially with a hole cut Chelsea boot, especially with a very high end Chelsea boot, just like when you put in a fully lasted shoe tree or you remove that, you want to twist the shoe tree. You don't want to just like pull it straight in and straight out. First, that's going to like stretch out the leather, stretch out the upper, but it also could damage like the structure built throughout the shoe, the heel counters or the extended heel counters going through the arch. You want to do the same with your foot. When you're putting a Chelsea boot on or taking the boot off, you want to twist your foot in and then you want to twist the boot off. And this is to make sure that it's easier to get the boot on, easier to get the boot off, but it also prevents excessive stretching of the leather or of the elastic, and it also prevents your heel from kind of crushing that heel counter as you're going into the boot. When we compare this to the single monk strap, which is on the same last but for the shoe, the single monk strap has a slight modification to reduce some of the volume to make sure that that single monk has an extra snug fit because of the nature of a single monk. Now, this was a ready-to-wear shoe. It was already built, so there was no option to really customize or modify the last. Based off of all of the fit experience I had with Acme, we were both very confident it would be the right fit, and it definitely was. You can see here, there's no excess volume, there's no excessive wrinkling or creasing extending beyond where the crease point or the flex point of the upper is, and overall it's just an extremely comfortable shoe to wear. It really only took like 1 to 2 wears to fully break this in, and I couldn't be happier with how it's fit, how it's worn in, and kind of aged over the last 8 months, even though it's not a very long time frame. I'm going to cover a few final thoughts, final takeaways as far as anything I would have done differently. First, I definitely would have requested a rubber outsole. Now, this was already built. I still could have requested that they add like a rubber topi, like a half rubber Vibram sole, as well as the Vibram heel. I wish I would have done that. The leather sole is extremely durable. I've worn it in wet weather. It's perfectly fine. But for a boot, I just feel like it's a little more versatile when it has a rubber sole on it, at least a half rubber sole. It just gives you like that little extra traction and that little extra kind of protection or peace of mind. Personally for me, with all of the boots that I've ordered so far, I've never regretted getting a rubber sole. This is more of an observation than something I would change, but if you look at the creasing on the right boot, it's very clean. It's 2 creases basically, and it's very refined and confined to the flex point of the shoe. Same exact thing on the left shoe, but the leather has a little bit more of a strong crease to it. It's more of a wrinkle, and it's just not as cleanly creasing as the other. Is this an issue? Not really. You have to remember, hatch grain is calfskin, and it's calfskin that is not sold as smooth calfskin for a reason. They emboss it so that they can still make that byproduct, still create additional goods to be sold, and offer a variety of leathers for their clients. As I reflect back, think about if I would have jumped on this opportunity today the same way I did 8 months ago, the answer is yes. The fit and the aesthetic of this boot is perfect. I wear it a lot more than I ever thought I would have, and it's really kind of reignited a passion and a love that I have for Chelsea boots, which I'm really happy about. I would definitely recommend checking out Acme's new web shop. I believe they have 2 Chelsea boot options in their ready-to-wear collection, and I couldn't recommend them more. They are excellent boots. The fit is very spot on. I've had a few friends, a few folks on Instagram that have gotten a very similar pair of Chelsea boots and have had nothing but excellent feedback on it. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I want to hear what your thoughts are. If you enjoy Chelsea boots, if you've ever had any, or if for some reason you don't like them and why. If you did find this helpful, entertaining, or you just found it as a good way to pass some time, please like and subscribe, turn on your notifications. You'll find out about the next video as soon as it's ready. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Everyone have a good one. Thanks.